Ladies and gentlemen, we begin in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, Master of the Day of Judgment. All praise belongs to Him, and all of us have to return to Him. We begin this event tonight by recitation from the Holy Quran and listening to its meanings.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
الحمد لله رب العالمين
All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds.
الرحمن الرحيم
The entirely merciful, the especially merciful.
مالك يوم الدين
Sovereign of the day of recompense.
إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين
It is you we worship and you we ask for help.
اهدنا الصراط المستقيم
Guide us to the straight path.
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين
The path of those upon whom you have bestowed favor, not of those who have evoked your anger or of those who are astray.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wholeheartedly we welcome for tonight's book release event the entire Alam family, spread across generations and continents, headed of course by Dr. Masroor Alam Sohail Sahab and Janab Qamar Ahmad Sahab. We also welcome in our midst from Hyderabad, Reverend Father Dr. Pakiam Samuel, Director of the Henry Martin Institute. We are extremely happy to see in our midst the people of Manzoor Alam Sahab's city of Tonk, particularly Janab Shaukat Ali Khan Sahab, his son Janab Saulat Ali Khan Sahab, who is also currently Director of Tonk's Arabic Persian Research Institute, Janab Moin Nizamuddin Sahab, who is closely related to our family, Major Anwar Shah Sahab and Mrs. Farzana Habib Sahiba. We begin now by listening to a few messages of book reviews from eminent people of India. The first such message is by Mr. Naseem Ahmed, former Chairman, National Commission for Minorities and former Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University.
I have read with interest the book titled Manzoor Alam Life and Services, authored by no less a person than his own daughter, Dr. Nazira Mahmood. The book is a sort of a history of selfless service and dedication to the cause of the downtrodden. It is something which is seen rarely now. The beauty of the book is that apart from his achievements, it also gives a detailed account of the golden lineage of the family. And that is something which is also worth preserving by the progeny now. Now, to start with, I can say that Manzoor Alam Sahib was an epitome of honesty, integrity, dedication and selfless service, as also affection. He was a doting father. He was known in the entire area of Deedan, Rajputana and then Rajasthan as a leading lawyer. But apart from his roaring legal practice, he had much more to dabble in the area of social service. And for that he is known even today, even after his death in 2008. The book is a detailed account of his interventions, particularly in the area of spread of education amongst the poor and downtrodden, especially amongst the Muslims. He fought relentlessly for their causes and went even to the extent of pleading the cases of the poor Muslims without charging any fee. He was a person who was adored. He was a person who was respected. See, his attachment to the cause of the poor is reflected in his various interventions in the form of holding of various offices and positions and holding of conferences and big gatherings for propagating his ideals in the area. He was responsible for holding Dini Talim conference in Tonk in 1960. He was also responsible for holding an Ittihadul Muslimin conference in Bombay in 1992. He went on working in the selected areas of his passion without any hesitation with regard to the consequences. And the fact is that he went on getting more and more acclaim in areas of his choice and also his legal practice. Now, the problem with the present generation is that they have lost touch with their ancestors and their good deeds. So it is high time that books of this kind are written by those familiar with the family to educate the young generation of today with regard to their lineage, with regard to their illustrious ancestors. The book was originally written by Dr. Nazira Mahmood in Urdu, but seeing the fact that the present generation of the Muslim youth is not very familiar in Urdu language, she thought and was well advised to rewrite it in English. And the present attempt is a testimony to her faith in her deeds. She is, apart from authoring a book like this, she is wholly occupied in running 2 educational institutions of repute in her area. Now, coming to the lasting impressions which this book will surely leave, I am of the view that younger generation should inculcate a habit of knowing their ancestors and also getting familiar with the institutions which have been established over the years in their area of interest. That being the case, I'm sure the book in hand will come out handy for the youth of the community. They should learn and adopt the ways of their predecessors, and they are the ones who have to shoulder greater responsibilities in the years to come. And I'm sure this will be a good attempt on the part of Dr. Nazira Mahmood to familiarize the youngsters in areas which are highlighted in this book. The book is a dedication to the great soul Manzoor Alam Shah, who was more of a philanthropist than a reputed lawyer. One thing worth mentioning is that he declined the offer to become a High Court judge simply because he thought that this will keep him away from his activities and his contacts with the people at large. We must pay homage to such great souls, and in that direction I consider this book as a lasting homage to the departed soul.
The second book review has been received from Professor Dr. Najma Akhtar, Vice Chancellor of Jamia Millia Islamia.
Just had a chance of reading Dr. Nazira Mahmood's book, Manzoor Alam, Life and Services. It is a sincere attempt to perpetuate her ancestors' family and traditional values with special emphasis on her father's marvelous achievements and honest efforts to hand down the sublime morals and meritorious qualities to his descendants. Dr. Nazra has very skillfully woven the glimpses of cultural life of Tonk into this biography. Originally written in Urdu, it has been translated by Dr. Nazra into English, and this book highlights almost every aspect of the life of Janab Manzoor Alam. The family photographs, which are included in this book, are not only awakening the memories but also encourages the youngsters to emulate the high moral standards and disciplines of mind and body. Dr. Nazra's father, Manzoor Alam Sahab, combined in himself the cultures and values of Tonk as well as Aligarh Muslim University, from where he studied law. A man of progressive outlook, professional efficiency, Manzoor Alam Sahab was very proficient in human relationships. Duty conscious as he was, he shouldered his responsibilities towards the members of the extended family and towards his fellow citizens and towards his beloved nation. An enlightened lawyer, Manzoor Alam Sahab believed in collectivism and everyone's growth and advancement together. He believed that values will never vanish off the earth. Offering a few vivid glimpses of his life, Dr. Nazra's grandparents, and this biography helps one learn Manzoor Alam Sahab's religion of humanity, refined worldliness, empathy, and compassion. His social service. Preach the art of reaching out to the needy, giving generously to those who need it, and his own wealth, time, and energy he had spent in such activities. This book is a very simple narrative, beautiful style, and easy language, and it speaks of Dr. Nazira's skill as an author. A reader-friendly book, Manzoor Alam Life and Services will be treasured not only by his relatives and family but also by the world. May it be a collector's item. Nazira, you have done a good job, and it's a daughter's best gift to her father. May God bless you.
The third message of book review has been received from Dr. Shahid Mehndi, IAS, former Vice Chancellor Jamia Millia Islamia and former Director in the United Nations.
नामे नेके रफ्तगा ज़ाया मकुन, ये फ़ारसी का मशहूर मिसरा है। इस हिदायत पर अमल करते हुए डॉक्टर नाज़रा महमूद ने अपने वालिद साहब जनाब मंजूर आलम की सवानेह मंजूर आलम हयात व खिदमात के उन्वान से मुरतब की है। ये किताब मंजूर आलम साहब की सालेह, पुरखुलूस और बाअमल ज़िंदगी का एक खाका है। मंजूर आलम साहब ने मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी अलीगढ़ से एलएलबी करने के बाद टोंक को अपना मैदान अमल बनाया। वो एक कामयाब वकील और ज़िम्मेदार शहरी होने के अलावा अपने दौर की मुख्तलिफ समाजी और सियासी तहरीकों से मुंसलिक रहे और उन्होंने खिदमत खल्क और रफ़ाए आम के कामों में नुमायाँ किरदार अदा किया। सीधी सच्ची नसर में लिखी ये किताब मुस्लिम मुतवस्सित तबके की रोज़मर्रा ज़िंदगी और उनकी अक़दार की झलकियाँ भी दिखाती है। आज हम एक मशनी दौर से गुज़र रहे हैं। पहले आम तौर पर मुश्तरका ख़ानदानों का रवाज था। इस किताब में इस तर्ज ज़िंदगी की बहुत सलोनी यादें महफूज हो गई हैं, जिनसे नई नस्ल को रोशनास करना मेरे राय में ज़रूरी है। डॉक्टर नाज़रा महमूद हमारी मुबारकबाद की मुस्तहक़ हैं और हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि वो अपने समाजी रिफ़ाई मसरूफ़ियात से वक्त निकाल कर अपनी ज़िंदगी की याददाश्तों को इतने ही दिलपजीर अंदाज में कलम करेंगी।
And now the next message of book review is received from Padma Shri Dr. Sayyida Hamid, former member of the Planning Commission in the Government of India.
Manzoor Alam Life and Services. This very important book written by his daughter Nazira Mahmood is a tribute from a daughter to a father and a mother, because it is about the life of both of them. And it is also a kind of a mirror that is held up to this new generation. The values of life that Manzoor Alam stood for. A man who became a very prominent lawyer in a place like Tonk. And Tonk itself is a very historical part of India, I would say, not just Rajasthan, but India. And also because it has this very precious library, which is manuscripts of a collection of Arabic and Persian manuscripts. And he not only has patronized that, but he stood for political and for social issues, especially in support of the more disadvantaged people of the Muslim community and all communities for that matter. What is quite remarkable about this book is the description of her grandmother. The author's grandmother actually was a woman who was very erudite and also well versed in literature, poetry. In fact, that was an era where the verses of Allama Iqbal were read out by women of the family, and children learned how to memorize them. And this is the kind of atmosphere that, unfortunately, as the author refers to this internet generation, they never have that opportunity of learning from people they love and respect in long summer evenings or long afternoons when they are in the snug comfort of a loved one, and then these words fall on maybe at that time ears that don't understand, but then you imbibe it, and then it comes as a great force in your life later on.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is a message which has been received from Mr. Sayyid Rashid Mahmood from Bahraich.
मुअज़्ज़ज़ सामीन, खालिक़ व मखलूक़ के मंजूर नज़र महबूब सिफ़ात जलीलिया से मालामाल गैर मामूली शख्सियत मोहतरम जनाब मंजूर आलम साहब मरहूम हम लोगों की ज़बान में भाई मियाँ सीनियर के नाम नामी से पहचाने जाने वाली ख़ानदान की अदीब हस्ती। صوبہ راجستھان کے بارو ریاست ٹونک میں اپنے پرایوں میں پسندیدہ تھے، ہر ایک دکھ درد میں شریک تھے، سب کی خوشیوں میں شامل تھے، اپنے پیشے میں ممتاز، مخلص، ایماندار اور باکمال تسلیم کیے جاتے تھے۔ موصوف اپنے اوصاف حمیدہ کے سبب ارباب برسر اقتدار، حکومت، حکام بالا، سیاسی حلقوں اور عوام، بالخصوص عدالت کے ماحول کے ہر طبقے میں مقبول، معتبر اور محبوب جانے جاتے تھے۔ دلوں کو جوڑنے کے فن کے ماہر تھے، ٹوٹے رشتوں کو استوار کرنے کی لگن تھی، متعلقین کے احوال سے اپنے کو باخبر رکھتے تھے، خاموش خدمت خلق میں ہمتن غرق رہتے تھے، دل جوئی کے دل دادا تھے۔ موصوف معمولات میں انہماک سے مشغول تھے، کسی احساس کے تحت ابدی رخت سفر کی فکر لاحق ہو گئی اور فوراً کسی کی مدد سے آبائی قبرستان پہنچ کر والدین کے آخری آرام گاہ پر حاضری دی، ان کے حقوق ادا کرنے کا فرض ادا کیا، دیگر اہل قبول کو ہدایہ پیش کیے اور مغموم کیفیت کے ساتھ واپسی کے غمزدہ مراحل طے کر کے گھر آ پہنچے۔ پرسکون خاموشی کے دوران ذمہ داروں کو ضروری ہدایات دی۔ شاید عالم بالا کے حاضری کا احساس حاوی ہوتا جا رہا تھا تو بدوان حال کہہ اٹھے کہ سلامت تو، تیرا میں خانہ، تیری انجمن ساقی، مجھے کرنا ہے اب کچھ خدمت دار و رسن ساقی۔ اور کم ہی عرصے بعد مخلوق کے خالق کے حضوری ہوئے، غالباً مخلوق کے مسائل کو ساتھ لے کر ہی۔ متعلقین دم بخود ہوئے، کافی افسوس ملا، لیکن ارمان اقربا اور تھا، فرمان مولا اور۔ میرے والد ماجد سے ان کے قریبی تعلقات تھے، لہذا خود ان کی ہی تاریخ وفات کے ذریعے مرحوم موصوف کو خراج عقیدت پیش کرنے کا شرف حاصل کرتا ہوں۔ زاہد غریق رحمت۔ تاب لاتے ہی بنے گی غالب، واقعہ سخت جان عزیز کا مشورہ ملا تو پسماندگان نے صبر جمیل کا دامن تھاما، مرد یہ مولا پر سر جھکایا، خراج عقیدت کا شرف حاصل کرتے ہوئے دعا گو ہوں کہ اللہ تعالیٰ مرحوم کو اپنے بندوں کی خیر و خبر گیری کے عوض جنت الفردوس کی سرابی سے سرفراز فرمائیں، آمین۔ انشاءاللہ ان کی مقبولیت و مغفرت کے لیے ان کا یہ جذبہ خاص ہی کافی ہوگا کہ عوام و ملت کے مفاد کی خاطر دنیا کی عارضی سرفرازی پر، یعنی صوبہ راجستھان کے ہائی کورٹ کے جج کی مسند پر فائز کرنے کی حکومت کی پیشکش نامنظور کر کے عقبہ کی سربلندی کو ترجیح دی۔ ان کی خدمات قبول کیے جانے کا تازہ اشارہ اس سے زیادہ اور کیا ہوگا کہ جہاں میرے ارد گرد گردش کرتا دور دراز سے آیا ہوا نسیم صبح کا رو پرور معطر جھوکا بھی میرے ساتھ جھوم جھوم کر ان کو خراج عقیدت پیش کرنے میں شامل ہے۔ امید ہے کہ اس نامکمل خراج عقیدت کے ساتھ لپٹ چمٹ کر وہاں بھی وہ پہنچے گا جہاں اس وقت خراج عقیدت کے سلسلے جاری ہیں۔ ممنون و مشکور ہوں نسیم سحر کا کہ اس نے دل جوئی کے لیے میری ہمت افزائی کی، کیونکہ بوئے گل پھیلتی کس طرح جو ہوتی نہ نسیم۔ اس اعتراف کے ساتھ کہ حق تو یہ ہے کہ حق ادا نہ ہوا۔
And here is another message which has been received from Mrs. Zakia Kazmi from Lucknow.
ہزاروں سال نرگس اپنی بے نوری پہ روتی ہے، بڑی مشکل سے ہوتا ہے چمن میں دیدور پیدا۔ منظور عالم صاحب مرحوم مغفور کا نام نامی محتاج تعارف نہیں ہے۔ بڑی خوشی ہے کہ مجھے ان کے بارے میں آج کچھ بولنے کا فخر حاصل ہوا ہے۔ سچ ہے کہ یہ وہ شخص تھے جو بات کرتے تھے تو منہ سے پھول جھڑتے تھے۔ ان کی چھوٹی چھوٹی ننھی مضحکہ خیز باتیں بچوں تک کو ان کا گرویدہ بنا لیتی تھیں۔ آج ان کی نور چشم عزیزہ ناظرہ محمود نے اپنی کتاب کو انگلش میں ٹرانسلیٹ کر کے ان کی اولاد ہونے کا حق ادا کر دیا ہے۔ مجھے یقین ہے کہ ان کی روح ایک دفعہ پھر فخر سے جھوم اٹھی ہوگی۔ مجھے بھی ان کے پاس بیٹھ کر ان کی جادوئی باتیں سننے کا فخر حاصل ہے۔ اس قسم کے دیدور ہزاروں سال میں کہیں ایک دفعہ پیدا ہوتے ہیں۔ آج وہ ہمارے بیچ نہیں ہیں، لیکن کان ان کی آواز سن سکتے ہیں दिल उनकी मुशफ़िक़ आवाज़ महसूस कर सकता है। दुआ गो हूँ कि आसमां उनकी लहर पर शबनम अफ़शानी करे, सब्ज़े नौरस्ता इस घर की निगहबानी करे।
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together because we are now inviting the author of the book, Dr. Nazira Mahmood, to say a few words about what all process she had adopted, what all she had gone through while writing this book.
Respected elders, my dear family and friends, I am grateful to all of you to have offered your quality time to attend this book release program tonight. My father, Janab Manzoor Alam Sahib's life was the epitome of honesty, gentleness, and affection. In his lifetime itself, I had a penchant to pen down the services that he had rendered to the community. During the 4 years before his demise, whenever he used to come to our house or I was in Tonk, I conducted his interviews and noted down the details of his struggles and challenges, listening to these right from him only. I feel blessed that he used to give me his time in answering my questions. Sometimes, smilingly, he used to say that the life history of a person is written only when he leaves this world. During these meetings, once he had penned down a Persian couplet on my rough notes. I have scanned and published it with meanings at the back cover of this book. Originally, this book was written in Urdu. Then I thought that I must translate it into English to facilitate its wider readership. When the Urdu edition was published, our Ammi was with us in this world. There, I had inscribed my prayer for her long life. But God had other designs. In January 2019, she too left for her eternal abode. May God bless the noble souls of both of my parents. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, the third generation of my father, that is, his grandchildren, had good opportunity to pass good time of their childhood in Tonk when during academic vacations they stayed there along with their parents and used to play in my father's haveli. Yet they were too young to know much about his works. This and the upcoming generations need to know about their ancestors as to get inspired from their selfless works and achievements. Modern life has become too busy and mechanical. Not many have time to delve into the family's past. Secondly, during our early years, we were part of the joint family and used to pass our time with grandparents, uncles, and aunts. During long summer afternoons, these elders narrated the anecdotes relating to their ancestors. Thus, the children then were somewhat aware of the past family happenings and used to try to mold themselves according to the footprints of their exalted forefathers. Now, times have changed. Joint families have become extinct. Internet consume most of the time. The new generations do not have ready-made resources to be familiar with their familial past. That was the reason of this translation into English, enabling the subsequent generations getting to know about Ammi and Bhai Mia. While writing the Urdu version of this book too, I used to remain quite busy because of my whole soul commitment to the running of our schools in Delhi. But during my stay in the United States, I had got ample time to complete it. Likewise, despite my involvement in arranging and supervising online classes of our schools during the current corona lockdown, I still thankfully got time to complete this English version. I am grateful to my sister-in-law, Mrs. Zakia Kazmi in Lucknow, and my brother-in-law, Janab Sayyid Rashid Mahmood Sahab in Bahraich, to have sent the video recordings of their messages for tonight's book release event. From amongst the circle of our family friends, I am indebted to Reverend Father Dr. Pekyum Samuel, Director, Henry Martin Institute, Hyderabad; Padma Shri Dr. Sayyida Hamid, former member of Planning Commission, Government of India; Professor Dr. Najma Akhtar, Vice Chancellor of Jamia Millia Islamia; Mr. Naseem Ahmad IAS, ex-chairman, National Commission for Minorities and former Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University; and Mr. Shahid Mehdi IAS, ex-Vice Chancellor of Jamia Millia and former Director in United Nations, for having sent their video recordings to be played tonight. I'm short of words to express my thanks to Janab Shaukat Ali Khan, Janab Saulat Ali Khan, Janab Moin Nizamuddin, Janab Aqil Yusuf Saab, and Dr. Farzana Habib for their kind presence and affectionate and encouraging words. My aunt Apabi and my uncles, Janab led Mehboob Alam Sahab, Janab Saeed Alam Sahab, have been a source of valuable information about the family events. My heartfelt gratitude goes to the director and other office bearers of the Arabic and Persian Institute of Tonk for providing me my father's memorable pictures and speeches from their library. I am once again especially grateful to all my brothers and sisters who gave me substantial information about the parents. I am thankful to my husband, Dr. Sayyid Zafar Mahmood Sahab, for characteristically motivating me to complete this work also. Our children, Kashif, Saad, Abid, along with our daughters-in-law, Sadia, Anam, and Mahro, helped me in selecting their Nana Abbu's and Nani Ammi's pictures. Abid also assisted me in the typing work. May God make this book a source of inspiration for the current and upcoming generations. Amen. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let us jointly release this book. And here I would give you some tips for reading the book. Those of us who are having an Apple device, an Apple iPhone, an Apple iPad, or a MacBook, we can read this book online because this has been uploaded on Apple publications. So each one of us who is having any Apple device would already be having an Apple ID and an Apple password. Using those, we have to create an Apple iTunes account. And after this has been created, straight away, just click the link. The link which we will be providing to you, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, after this event is over tonight. So please click that link and you would be able to read the book on iBooks, which is also an Apple publication. So happy reading. So the first guest speaker whom I am calling upon tonight for this event is Reverend Father Dr. Pacquiam Samuel, Director of the Henry Martin Institute, to kindly say a few words.
Thank you very much for this privilege of participating in this wonderful book release. In my travel and my journey with Dr. Zafar, I learned a lot. And one thing that really touches me is respecting parents. The Holy Quran always, Dr. Zafar mentions to me, uh, encourages children to be honoring the father and the mother. And he always tells me one of the golden rule is not to say against your parents even a sound like Similarly, in the Holy Scripture, Bible, it says, if you want to have a long life, honor your father and mother. If you want to have a long life, honor your father and mother. I think ma'am got a golden opportunity to show that respect, to honor her father and mother by contributing and by remembering the good deeds as well as the journey that she had along with her parents. It's a privilege and it's a great service to humanity to show how we respect our parents. Ma'am has taken this wonderful initiative of putting together the memories and the good words and the deeds that she could record in this collection. May God bless you, ma'am. It's a great example to all the children and to all of us to respect our own parents. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Father Dr. Pacquiam Samuel. Now I would request Janab Shaukat Ali Khan Sahab to kindly say something about the book and also about the program that is underway now.
Of a scholastic father, an intellectual spouse, of an equally intellectual spouse, esteemed Dr. Sayyid Zafar Mahmood, the nobling emblem of present triumph and of colossal success. He is too rarest of the rare, the magnanimous master of the age, and meritorious work of multifaceted disciplines, art, culture, classicism, and Sufism to be cherished by the posterity to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I now request मैं जनाब मुइन निजामुद्दीन साहब से दरख्वास्त कर रहा हूँ कि वो अपने तासुरात फरमाएं. मुइन निजामुद्दीन साहब.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम.
Thanks a lot, Zafar Mahmood साहब, नादिरा बाजी. आपने मुझे इस खास मौके पे शामिल किया. मंजूर आलम साहब की शख्सियत को मैं सही मायने में ये बताऊं, एक सच्चे और अच्छे मुसलमान किस तरह के होते हैं, वो पूरी एक डेफिनेशन है. मतलब किस तरह की उनकी जिंदगी थी, लोगों के काम आना, लोगों की मदद करना. कितने उनके काम है कि मैं जिक्र करते हुए मतलब इतना टाइम आपने मुझे दिया नहीं. बहुत बातें हैं ऐसी. इसमें दो बड़ी बातें हैं हमारे टॉक में जो उनकी सरपरस्ती में काम किए. जब आर्किटेक्चर डिपार्टमेंट शौकत साहब और मेजर साहब यहाँ तशरीफ रखते हैं, जामा मस्जिद को एक्वायर करने के लिए उन्होंने किया, तो ये मस्जिद आज अल्लाह का शुक्र है कि पूरे हिंदुस्तान में एक बहुत बड़ा मुकाम रखती है. इसी तरह एक हमारा मसला ईदगाह का आया, जो कि राजस्थान में सबसे बड़ी ईदगाह है. उसकी भी सरपरस्ती मंजूर आलम साहब की, उसमें रिनोवेशन हुआ और उनका पूरा काम मंजूर आलम साहब की सरपरस्ती में जामा मस्जिद का और ईदगाह का हुआ माशाल्लाह. और सही मायने में लोगों के काम आना ही इस्लाम है और वो उन्होंने सिखाया. आज हम लोग ان کی سرپرستی ہمارے پہ نہیں ہے. ہم بہت زیادہ ان کو یاد کرتے ہیں اور میں بہت ہی آپ کا بہت شکر گزار ہوں کہ آپ نے مجھے اس میں شامل کیا. اور میرے پاس بہت الفاظ بہت کم ہیں. منظور عالم صاحب کی میں بہت چھوٹا آدمی ان کے میں بیان نہیں کر سکتا. منظور عالم صاحب کی شخصیت بہت بڑی ہے. اللہ ان کو جنت نصیب کرے رب العالمین اور آپ کو صبر جمیل دے رب العزت. جزاک اللہ. تھینکس اے لاٹ. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ.
شکریہ.
بہت شکریہ آپ کا جناب معین نظام الدین صاحب. Can I now request Janab Saulat Ali Khan Sahab, Director of the Institute of Arabic and Persian Institute in talk, to kindly say a few. Janab Saulat Ali Khan Sahab.
بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم نحمدہ ونصلی علی رسولہ الکریم. آج ہم ایک ایسی شخصیت کے بارے میں بات کرنے والے ہیں جو دونوں عالم میں منظور بھی تھے اور اب مغفور ہیں، اور ان کا دل ان کا اسلام کے خزینے سے پرنور ہے اور اسلامی تاریخ کے وہ ماہر تھے. علی گڑھ کی مسلم یونیورسٹی کی تمام اقدار ان کے کردار میں نمایاں تھیں. وہ ایک ماہر وکیل تھے اور کم لوگوں کو یہ پتا ہوگا کہ وہ اس طرح کے وکیل تھے کہ ایویڈنس کے لیے میں نے انہیں کتابیں لے جاتے ہوئے یا کسی نے بھی انہیں کتابیں لے جاتے ہوئے نہیں دیکھا. ان کا حافظہ اتنا قوی اور مضبوط تھا کہ بڑے بڑے جج یا سامنے ان کا وکیل ان سے جب بات کرتا تھا تو بڑی محنت اور ہزاروں کتابیں ساتھ لے کر چلتا تھا اور وہ صرف اکیلے ہی چلے آتے تھے. یہ ان کی ایک ذہانت کی ایک مثال تھی. انہوں نے نہ صرف وکالت میں ماہر تھے بلکہ عوام کی خدمت کرنا، عوام سے محبت کرنا، قوم والوں سے محبت کرنا ان کا فریضہ تھا. وہ محسن قوم تھے، وہ وقار قوم تھے. انہوں نے تعلیم کے لیے بہت کام کیا. کئی شعبے جات میں انہوں نے کام کیا ہے، خاص کر تعلیمی شعبہ جات میں انہوں نے بڑا کام کیا. فردوسیہ تعلیمی سوسائٹی انہوں نے چلائی جو اس زمانے میں تمام غریب بچوں کو تعلیم کے لیے کتابیں دیا کرتے تھے، ان کی فیسیں جمع کیا کرتے تھے. یہ ایک درد مند دل ہی کر سکتا ہے. وہ درد، قوم کا درد ان کے دل میں چھپا ہوا تھا. ایک عشق تھا، ایک جنون تھا ان کے دل کے اندر، وہ قائم تھا. وہ ایک میرا ان سے تعلق تین طرح سے ہے. آبائی تعلق میرے دادا کے ساتھیوں میں سے تھے. دوسرا تعلق میرا علی گڑھ سے تھا ان کا، وہ علی گڑھین تھے، مجھے بھی یہ شرف حاصل ہے. تیسرا تعلق میرا یہ ہے کہ وہ فردوسیہ سوسائٹی تعلیمی سوسائٹی کے سیکرٹری تھے. آج الحمدللہ خدا تعالیٰ نے مجھے یہ ذمہ داری دی ہے، میں اس کا سیکرٹری ہوں ان کی جگہ. یہ میرے لیے باعث فخر ہے. ان کا جذبہ اور ان کا قوم کے ساتھ جو وقار تھا وہ کسی سے چھپا ہوا نہیں ہے. وہ قوم کے ہمدرد تھے، رہنما تھے، وہ قائد تھے، اور جذبہ عشق ان میں قوم کے لیے تھا. اس کے لیے شاید حافظ شیرازی نے یہی کہا ہے، ہرگز نمیرد آن کے دلش زندہ شد بعشق سبتس بجرید عالم دوام ما. شکریہ.
بہت شکریہ جناب. جزاک اللہ. تھینک یو ویری مچ. سو نائس آف یو. آپ جناب یوسف صدیقی صاحب ٹونک کے ہمارے بھائی میاں کے بہت خاص لوگوں میں سے تھے، فیملی فرینڈز تھے. ان کے بیٹے جناب عقیل یوسف صاحب، ان کی طبیعت ذرا ناساز ہے، تو انہوں نے اپنا ایک میسج بھیجا ہے، وہ میں چاہتا ہوں کہ آپ لوگوں کو سنا دوں ان کا میسج. ایک منٹ ذرا سا آپ میرے ساتھ بیئر کریں گے، میں ان کا میسج آپ کو سنا رہا ہوں.
نحمدہ ونصلی علی رسول الکریم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. منظور عالم صاحب مرحوم جو ہے، ہمارے پورے خاندان کا تعلق ان سے بہت پرانا رہا ہے. ان کے بڑے صاحبزادے ہمارے بچپن کے دوست رہے ہیں، وہ آج کل مسقط کے اندر ہیں، ڈاکٹر ہیں. چند باتیں میں پہلے کہنا چاہتا ہوں، اس دن میں باقی باتیں سمجھ میں آ جائیں گی انشاءاللہ. اس وقت امت مسلمہ میں حسن تو ہے مگر آن نہیں، ادا تو ہے مگر شان نہیں، زاہدانہ ہمت تو ہے مگر قائدانہ جرت نہیں، اسلام کی احترام تو ہے مگر اس پر عمل نہیں. سب سے پہلی کوشش منظور عالم صاحب اور دوسرے لوگوں نے کے ساتھ مل کر ان کا ایک مدرسہ قائم کیا. میرے والد مرحوم محمد صدیقی صاحب اور محترم حبیب الدین صاحب مرحوم سب نے مل کر جو ہے دارالمطالعہ قائم کیا. یہ مدرسہ قائم ہوا جہاں منظور صاحب کے صاحبزادے ڈاکٹر مسرور عالم سہیل، حبیب الدین صاحب کے صاحبزادے جاوید حبیب اور دیگر طلباء اور میں خود اس دین اور دنیا کی تعلیم اس میں حاصل کی. اس میں منظور عالم صاحب کا جو رول بہت اہم رہا ہے. یقین کیجئے وہاں کے پڑھے ہوئے تمام طلباء بہت اچھے عمدہ عہدے پر قائم ہوئے اور دیندار بھی رہے. اس کے علاوہ لڑکیوں کے لیے بھی مدرسہ بنات المسلمین کے نام سے قائم کیا گیا، وہاں بھی کافی لڑکیوں نے تعلیم حاصل کی تو بہت فائدہ ہوا. محترم منظور عالم صاحب کا رول امت مسلمہ کے لیے بہت اہم رہا. تفصیلات کا یہاں موقع نہیں ہے. منظور عالم صاحب کے مرحوم کے ساتھ ان کے ساتھی حبیب الدین صاحب مرحوم ہمیشہ ساتھ رہے. تو ان کے حالات سدھارنے کے لیے یہ حضرات اور دیگر بھی ان کے ساتھ مصروف رہے. اللہ ان لوگوں کو جزائے خیر عطا فرمائے. حبیب الدین صاحب وکیل بھی کی کتاب کے اوپر ایک کتاب لکھی گئی ہے، وکیل انسانیت کے نام سے. وہاں ایک شعر میں نے پڑھا ہے، اگر تم چاہتے ہو دین سرخروی دنیا کی تو پھر منظور عالم حبیب الدین ہو جاؤ. میں اور بہت کچھ کہنا چاہتا ہوں لیکن تو یہ میری یادداشت کمزور ہو گئی ہے. اتنا ضرور کہوں گا آخر کے اندر کہ منظور عالم صاحب تمام عالم کو منظور تھے اور ہیں اور رہیں گے انشاءاللہ. اللہ ان کی مغفرت فرمائے، آمین.
تھینک یو. اب اس کے بعد میں آواز دوں گا میڈم مسز فرزانہ حبیب صاحبہ کو to say kindly say a few words. Mrs. فرزانہ حبیب.
بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. السلام علیکم. اس سے پہلے کہ میں جناب محترم منظور عالم صاحب کے بارے میں کچھ کہوں، ان کے لیے ایک شعر عرض کرتی ہوں. ہزاروں سال نرگس اپنی بے نوری پہ روتی ہے، بڑی مشکل سے ہوتا ہے چمن میں دیدور پیدا. منظور عالم صاحب راجستھان کے کی مشہور ریاست ٹونک کی چند نامور معزز اور مشہور معروف شخصیات میں سے ایک ہیں، جن کی شخصیت اور ذات پر اہل ٹونک کو فخر ہے. منظور عالم صاحب نہ صرف ایک ممتاز اور ماہر وکیل تھے بلکہ ایک دانشور، مفکر، کامیاب سیاستداں اور مصلح قوم تھے. آپ نے ٹونک کے عوام کو نہ صرف بیدار کیا بلکہ ان میں سیاسی روح بھی پھونکی اور ان میں قومی ملی شعور پیدا کیا. آپ ساری زندگی اپنی قوم و ملت کی تعلیم و تربیت، ترقی و ترویج کے لیے کوشاں رہے. آپ نے اپنے چند دوستوں کے ساتھ مل کر مسلم بچوں اور بچیوں کے لیے دینی و دنیاوی تعلیم کے لیے مدارس کھولے جو اس وقت کی اہم ضرورت تھے. ان مدارس کے قیام سے بے شمار طلباء بہرور ہوئے. آج پھر ایسے مدرسوں کی اشد ضرورت ہے. منظور عالم صاحب ساری زندگی قوم و ملت کی ترقی و ترویج کے لیے کوشاں رہے. اگر یہ کہوں تو بے جانا ہوگا کہ آپ ہمہ وقت عوام کی فلاح و بہبود کے لیے سرگرم عمل رہے. آپ کے خدمات اہل ٹونک کبھی فراموش نہیں کر سکتے. بارگاہ الہی میں دعا ہے کہ جس طرح انہوں نے دنیا میں بمقصد اور کامیاب زندگی گزاری، اللہ تعالیٰ ان کو آخرت کی ابدی زندگی میں بھی بلند درجات عطا کرے، آمین. میں اپنی دوست ناظرہ محمود کی شکر گزار ہوں کہ انہوں نے مجھے اس محفل میں شامل کیا. ناظرہ داد تسلیم کی مستحق ہیں کہ انہوں نے اپنے والد محترم کی حیات اور خدمات پر اردو میں کتاب تصنیف کی اور وقت کی ضرورت محسوس کرتے ہوئے اس کا ترجمہ انگریزی میں کیا. یہ عمل مزید قابل تعریف ہے. یہ ترجمہ انگریزی تقوی اور نئی نسل کے لیے مشرہ راہ ہوگا انشاءاللہ. شکریہ. خدا.
Thank you very much. So nice of you. بہت بہت شکریہ. Now we are moving to the family. Or can I request Mrs. Aman Nazki to kindly say a few words?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Also, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with everyone today, especially because we're celebrating the translation of the biography of an incredible, he was such an incredible person. He was such an incredible human being. And he had an incredible partner, my beautiful grandmother, who was as strong as him, as knowledgeable, and as fierce as him. And together they built, I think they were together for more than 60 years, and they built a beautiful life together. To me, they were the embodiment of grace, compassion, and grit. They overcame incredible challenges in their lifetime. And they left all of us, their children, their grandchildren, such invaluable and strong foundations which we could build our own lives on. And I think we're really blessed to have them as our grandparents. I do feel very emotional being here today with you guys. I want to tell you about an incident. A couple of years after my grandfather passed away, I was doing my PhD in London, and I uncovered some documents about him in the British Library. So there was a letter that he and his compatriot had written to the British government, advising them about their choice, about the Nawab of Tonk at that time. And when I saw his signature on that letter, my heart was just filled with so much love for him. And I felt so proud and so blessed to be his granddaughter. And that's how I feel now that Nazar Popo has translated her book. I feel like God has given us another opportunity to be close to him again. And I am so grateful for her that she's taken the time to do that. I can assure you, Nazar Popo, that this book will have not only a place in our Kindles or our clouds, but it will also have a very precious space in all our hearts. So thank you so much.
So thank you very much, Ayman. I apologize that one senior person from the city of Tonk, I did not know that he has already joined, although his name is written here with me. May I now request Major Anwar Shah Sahab to kindly say a few words. Major Anwar Shah Sahab, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
जनाब मंजूर आलम साहब का हमारा काफ़ी साथ रहा। बुजुर्ग थे हमारे और हमेशा गाइड करते रहते थे, और उनके जाने के बाद से ऐसा लगता है कि टोंक में एक बहुत बड़ा खला हो गया है जो कि अभी कोई पुर करने वाला नज़र नहीं आ रहा। और उनकी जो खिदमात हैं वो हमसे पहले लोगों ने काफ़ी डिटेल में बता दी हैं, इसलिए मैं ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं लूँगा। और आपको और आपकी बेगम साहिबा को इस बात की मुबारकबाद देता हूं कि आपने इतनी मेहनत करके उनके ऊपर एक किताब लिखी जो पहले उर्दू में थी और अब आपने उसका इंग्लिश में तर्जुमा किया, जो कि सब हर जवान बच्चे के पास या आजकल के लोगों तक पहुंच सके। शुक्रिया।
Thank you, sir.
So nice of you. So from the family, may I now call upon Mr. Faraz Ahmad to kindly say a few words. Mr. Faraz Ahmad, please.
Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm sorry my
Assalam.
video is a little bit out of order right now, so I will not be joining in through a video call, but I believe the words should be enough to actually recognize this this occasion. So thank you Zafar Khalu and Nazra Khala for actually first of all inviting me to this ceremony, book launching ceremony. I honestly did not come prepared to say anything, but I have been listening to everyone, especially to all the friends of Nana Boo, all the people who knew Nana Boo, and all the people who knew Nana Boo, and by listening to everybody, and by remembering our childhood time with in that house with Nana Abu, Nani Ammi, and every elder. It's a very emotional moment. Nana Abu, Nani Ammi are a figure who will always remind us of what we should be when we are walking down the path of as we are growing old. And the excellent amount of work that Nazra Khala, along with Zafar Khalu, has put in to actually help us and help my kids to know that great grandfather is going to go down is one of the best things that can happen to Alam family, because we sometimes are speechless. We don't have the right words to explain what our Nanihal, our Nana Abu, our Nani Ammi were and are to us. It's very difficult. So I hope that when we read and when my kids read this book, they might be able to understand my emotions, our emotions, through Nazra Khala's words. So thank you, Nazra Khala, for your effort, for your mehnat, for your dedication, and you are an inspiration for all of us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Faraz.
Thank you, Faraz. So nice of you. Can I now request Dr. Sayyid Kashif Mahmood to kindly say a few words?
Assalamualaikum. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, walaikum assalam.
We can hear you. Wonderful. So as his eldest grandchild, it is a privilege for me to speak in memory of my Nana Abu, Mr. Manzoor Alam Sahab. And a lot has already been said about the accomplished barrister / advocate that he was, so the philanthropist that he was, the community leader that he was. But just like Ayman and Faraz before me, I want to touch on my personal interactions with him, what I remember about him, and what a wonderful human being he was. So there are a lot of words that can be used to describe him as a person, and I wrote a few words down. Generous, disciplined, kind, loving, gentle, worldly, sensible, and good-humored. And then as I think about him, there are all these memories that come back and all these personal anecdotes that I can think about. But I want to, in the brief time that I have, I want to share an anecdote with you. And this was going back to the late 1990s when I had finished my board exams. And I had, I worked hard, just like, all boys and girls do during that time. And I had visited with my family. We had gone to Tok to spend some time with Nana Abu and Nani Ammi and all the cousins. And he heard that, I just finished my board examination. And once I got there and I was settled in, he said, Kashif Mia, you come with me. He took me down to the local tailor shop. And then he had me measured for a kurta. And he bought me a kurta. And he said, and what I remember about that, and the reason why that memory stands out is, number one, he valued hard work, not necessarily the result. He very much valued the hard work. And he also thought it was important to reward hard work and good intention. And that's just the person he was. Very loving and always had the right intentions. So I often share with my wife, Sadia, who's also here on this conference, that my time growing up and my time in Tok left me with some of the most cherished memories that one can ask for. And I have them to last me a lifetime. And I'm deeply, deeply grateful to Nana Abu and Nani Ammi for those memories. I commend my mother's dedication to his memory in the form of this book. It is very much true to her leadership style, rising up to the important task and getting it done. That's who she is. And that's what she did. I would also like to add that this is not the first time. She actually conserved all his books. I don't know if everybody knows, but she has made sure that his books in his library have not gone to waste. There's a huge, there are 2 rows in the, I believe the Arabic and Persian Institute, which are dedicated to him because of the efforts she made early on, making sure that those books did not go anywhere. So again, she's, just like Faraz said, she is an absolute inspiration. And it is my hope that this book is read by my children and their children after them. and everybody will inshallah remember what a wonderful human being and person he was. Thank you again.
So
Thank you,
nice.
Kasha. Thank you.
Now, Captain Yasir Alam was not sure whether he will be able to attend this program, but then he has sent us a message, and that I'm going to play to you.
When I sat down to ponder what I wanted to say today, I was struck by the futility of my words in trying to describe my grandfather Manzoor Alam. A man of his stature casts a long shadow, and what can I possibly say that has not already been said about his contributions to the society and his devotion to his family? His legacy to us is what he did, what he said, and what he stood for. To value the work of our hands and to shoulder the responsibility of our own fate. I cannot possibly fathom his vision sitting here today, but I can certainly see the fruit it bore among a community and family. He made lofty ideals look attainable and perhaps in some ways easy. We look back at his life, often with pride and even arrogance. My grandfather need not be idealized or enlarged beyond what he was in life. To be remembered simply as good and decent is a grand enough illustration of a man. A man who saw wrong and tried to right it, who saw suffering and tried to end it, saw the decline of our community and tried to stop it. For all the lives he touched, I hope we may carry the message of compassion as well as he did. My fondest memory of him is when he quoted Robert Frost to me, as he often did. Two roads diverged in a wood and I took the one less traveled by. For those familiar with Frost, there is a stanza missing. Two roads diverged in a woods and I chose the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. His life's work has made all the difference. Thank you.
That was Captain Yasir Alam. May I now request Mr. Babar Khan to kindly say a few words. Mr. Babar Khan.
We are little, we like to think we know everything, but the last thing that we really want is to know too much. What we really want is for grown-ups to make the world a lovely place where dreams can come true and promises are kept. Manzoor Alam Saab, my Nana Abu, was such a man who allowed for me to grow up, carry my dream, and also he gave me a place where I could share my expressions, my thoughts, and grow as a person. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and good evening, everyone. Growing up, there are places where we feel happy. It could be the playground, the beach, or it could be just our homes with our parents and everyone in it. For me, it was my grandfather's place. It was a lovely place. It was beautiful. It was magical, full of adventure, full of hope, full of love. There were orchards, there was fresh air, spacious rooms to explore, surroundings to navigate. There were trees to climb, there were memories to make. A lot of beautiful memories were made. It was a place where dreams could be made and thoughts could be shared. It wasn't a palace, but for me, it was my palace. And the man who made this possible was my grandfather, Manzoor Alam Saab. He was an ideal to strive to. He was noble. He was kind. The love and wisdom that I got from that place shaped my understanding of the world. It gave me a good sense of how I should interact with the world. I was very small. I was actually almost just a young born when I started growing up in that place, and I had the privilege to come visit that place and interact with my grandfather every year during the summer vacations. And my summer vacations were very, very long. They were 2 months, sometimes 2.5 months. And so I got a chance when I was exploring, and I was coming from Saudi Arabia, so I was not exactly in line with the Indian school system. And my summer vacations were when I was somewhat alone in that place. And my cousins used to have their summer vacations before me, so I could not interact much with my cousins, but that also gave me a chance to interact more with my grandfather while playing around, spending time with him. And that's when I learned few things, that he had a lovely library. He used to get he had not only had many books, but he also used to enjoy news a lot. He used to enjoy understanding general knowledge a lot. So there used to be 5 newspapers, 3 English, 1 Urdu, 1 Hindi newspaper. They used to come there, and that allowed me to even start reading newspapers. I never thought I would get interested in general knowledge, but he gave that pathway. That's why it was very important the way he shaped the understanding of the world of people around him. He gave them that hope and desire, that curiosity to go ahead and achieve something in life. And it was also one very important thing that I saw in him, was the way he just interacted with people. He was a very balanced person. No one, I never saw any people dislike him. It was very, very hard to dislike him. He had his aura and his respect all around the town, among his community, among his friends and family members. There was no way or that anyone could ever think critically of him. He was that great of a person, and that shapes everything. Not only just for the family members, but for the coming generations that will incorporate those values and still live with them. So I'm blessed. I'm very privileged to have such a person in or had such a person in my life. And this book will continue to keep his values and those kind of things alive. And I hope one day that I can share and further uh, it- spread those values from this book and from my own self for the generations to come and for the communities to come.
Thank you, ma'am. So nice of you. Before we continue with the family members, may I now request Dr. Syed Saad Mahmood to please speak a few words.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Wa alaikum
Assalam.
First, I just want to just express how grateful I am to Mama, my mother, that she has written this book and then translated it. Because I was telling my wife Anam that I'm really excited about Zaidan and Zara one day reading this book, and because I'm sure it will be a huge inspiration to them. And also, I just want to just say that I'm excited that there's only one grandchild that I'm aware of who is going to be a lawyer, and that's Rahila. And alhamdulillah, she's going to Northwestern, and inshallah, this book will be a huge inspiration for her as well. So thank you, Maya. And I want to just quickly thank my in-laws as well, Mr. Muhammad Aslam Sahab, who's on this call, as well as my mother-in-law, Ms. Rahim, who both of whom are on. So I cannot. Nanabu is one of the individuals who had perhaps one of the most profound impacts on my own life, my own development. As Bhaisa, Faraz, Babar, Eman, everyone has said so far, that one of our most, and Yasir have said, our cherished memories are visiting Tonk. And it was incredible that Nanabu, Nani and me seamlessly would host about 40 people. And that's where our sense of identity really grew, growing up together with our cousins, climbing the roof and talk, the guavas from Nani and me's orchard. And in all of this, Nanambu was the anchor. He was an inspiration in terms of the life that I would like to live. There's so many amazing memories with him, but when I came to the United States, I started following Nanabu's example that he had led, because he was very well read in history. And so I started reading biographies of Gandhiji, Indira Gandhi, and the other Muslim leaders of South Asia. And many questions came up. And so when I came back from vacation between 2005 and 2007, I did a number of interviews with him on video, which I was able to record. And it was amazing just learning about the incredible hardships that he had to overcome as a young lawyer starting off.
His commitment, he was, as everyone knows, as you learn from the book, he was a defense lawyer. He would only take on capital trials, murder trials, and he said defense was the foundation of any judiciary. So to me, he was a man who was who lived by who was a great example to me in terms of fighting, standing his ground, fighting for justice. I had many conversations with him about his life in the 1940s, about India's independence, and he gave me an insight that extended beyond any textbook. I was very, and he really shaped my sense of identity. He shaped, my own decision and, my own marriage. And, so Nanabu, I'm so grateful that in the 25 or plus years that I had the privilege of knowing him, he shaped my life permanently long term. And so I'm so grateful to Mama for writing this book so that we can all, and translating it to English so that myself, Anam, and then my children can also learn through his example.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
very much.
Thank you. So we are so grateful that you told us that your parents-in-law are here, and I can also see Mrs. Sufia Kidwai and her son from Lucknow. Thank you very much. Welcome to this program, and we are so grateful that you could find time, all four of you, to attend to both the families. So may I now request Ms. Nida Tariq, to kindly say a few words. Ms. Nida Tariq.
Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Walaikum
Currently we are in Manzoor and we are really missing Dadabu right now. And thank you so much Nazra Puppo and Zafar Puppa for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak few lines about our dearest Dadabu. Dadabu, he played a very important role in nurturing his children and grandchildren. Now, if I were to talk about my childhood memories with him, I would like to say a few things about the summer vacation time which we had shared with him. I remember we used to enjoy evening tea time with him, and after every dinner, he would share, short stories with us. And also after coming back from the court, he would bring roti and different kind of foods for all the kids. He would show very unconditional love to all the children. Also today, Abba was telling me about few of his societal contribution, which I would like to highlight here. First, before 1946, first municipal election was held in the Tonk Riyasat, and Dadabu was the first elected chairperson of the Tonk state. So under his leadership, first bus stand was constructed to supply the bus services in the adjoining cities. Secondly, he told me about that there was a drinking water issue in the Tonk Riyasat. So what Dadabu suggested that there should be a water work, and it was built on a hill, and through the pipe the water was being transported to the different part of the cities. So these are the major societal contribution of Dadabu. Dadabu was a very generous, dedicated, peaceful person. All I want to say is that may Allah grant him the highest pedestal in Jannah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nida. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So nice of you. Good girl. Can we now switch over to Miss Taher Tabish?
Assalamu alaikum everyone.
Walaikum assalam, Seher.
First of all, thank you Nazra Khala for translating the book in English and giving us this opportunity to speak about Nanabu and Nani Ammi. Since I can remember my childhood, I can recall spending every summer in Tonk with Nanabu and Nani Ammi. Every day when Nanabu used to come back from court, all the kids used to run to him to wish him, and he'd be like, "Bibi, hamare liye kuch thanda leke aao, peene ke liye." And then he used to go and sit in his room, and I remember running to the kitchen, and either Mama or Nani Ammi or one of the khalas would be ready with a chilled glass of Ruh Afza or lemonade, his favorite cold drinks to drink, and then I'd bring that to him, And I remember him teaching me how to hold a glass. He taught me that you are always supposed to hold the glass with your right hand and support it with your left, and that's how you serve it to a person. And I still remember it and I follow it every time. And every day he used to ask us grandkids, what do you want? And we'll be like, we want fruity and ice cream and Maggie. And there was not a single day that he has not brought us kids what we wanted. And every evening we used to go out, or he used to ask Sabir Mia to get us ice cream. And then he used to tell us stories after dinner. And then I remember the last year that he was alive and the last summer that we spent with him, he took us tour of Tonk. He showed us all the Havelis and all the important places and his court. And I think that's the most memorable, um, the most prominent memory I have of Nana Boo. And also, like every year, he used to sit us kids down and ask us questions. कि बीवी तुम्हें आगे life में क्या करना है? What is your ambition in life? What do you want to be when you grow up? And I think I was just 8 or 9 years old, and I hadn't really thought about what I wanted in my life. But Nana Boo made me think. He made me aspire to be something, just be somebody who he could be proud of. And he always pushed us kids to not just spend our summer vacations in front of a TV. He had said, just read some books or talk to me or tell me stories. And he used to tell us stories. And Nani Ammi, I remember Nani Ammi was very protective of the Bada Hall because we kids used to play there every day and mess up her setup. And she never scolded us, but she used to always request us kids that, beta, please, jahan se jo cheez uthai hai wahan wapas rakh dena, because me, Nida, Hiba, Sadaf, Fozan, Fatima, we used to host tea parties and Maggie parties in the veranda every evening. And Nani Ammi never stopped us from eating, or she cooked. Like I remember her cooking. I just miss her cooking a lot. And I can proudly say that my grandparents are responsible for shaping my life and personality. They've showed us what a happy and content life looks like, and I'm going to work every day to achieve that. Their values have been taught to us by our parents, and I can only wish that I had more time with them. But I'm very grateful for every day that I spent with Nanabu and Nani Ammi, and I'm going to miss them every day.
Very good. Thank you.
Excellent. So nice of
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Very good. Now I will call upon Miss Rahila Firoz.
So good afternoon and evening, everyone. Thank you, Nazra Khala, for providing us an opportunity to remember Nana Boo. It's really heartwarming to see everyone here. So everyone thought I grew up without a father, but I didn't. My grandfather is my father. He provided for me, but not just a place to live, a place where I belonged, a place where I was loved, a place where I felt safe, and a place where Nani Ammi made my favorite food and told me stories at night to help me fall asleep. He nurtured me. He showed me I was important by letting me sit in his office chair while he sat on a smaller chair talking with his clients. He made me realize just how smart I was by bragging to everyone how well I could write, even if that writing was on his walls with a piece of charcoal. He was the first person to tell me that my curly hair was pretty. He gave me the confidence to be myself without an apology. He taught me to stand on my own 2 feet and to rely on myself. He shared with me once that after his father's death, he at a young age suddenly became the sole provider for his family. But for a long time, he couldn't find a client. But it was his persistence that let him become successful. Like him, I had to earn everything that I have. Like him, I am persistent. Like him, I wake up early. And like him, I worked incredibly hard every day. Today, I'm attending one of the top law schools in the United States on a full scholarship. Without his example, I don't know if that would have been possible. It gives me great pride to be the member of the Alam family that carries on his legacy by pursuing his profession. He is my inspiration. I'm grateful to have had Manzoor Alam Advocate as my father. Thank you.
Very good. Rahila, well done.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Raila. Now we have to listen to Dr. Syed Abid Mahmood, but both of them, Abid and Maruf, they have traveled to Srinagar yesterday, and we know that Srinagar is not very well connected. So therefore, both of them have sent their messages here to me to be played. So I'm going to share the messages with you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sayyid Abid Mahmood. I am the youngest son of Dr. Nazra Mahmood. I have very fond memories of late Nanabu and Nani Ammi during my many visits to Tonk, Rajasthan, during my childhood days. Nanabu was a debonair lawyer, a dashing personality, community worker, and a loving grandfather. I still remember his words, short and sweet, that resonates in my mind often. He was a role model for so many who cherished being with him. At his Baithak or lawyer's chamber within the walls of Tonk Haveli, he would sit and discuss grievances of his clients on a daily basis. After work, he used to bring for the entire family a feast of fruits that we would soothingly devour after my late Nani Ammi had given us lunch. Nani Ammi was a no nonsense and kind hearted person. I once put a fake frog on her shoulder, and to my surprise, she just said, "Oh, so cute," instead of being just afraid. Nanimi was rock solid and a disciplined woman who was like the caretaker of household chores and a responsible mother to her 3 sons and 7 daughters. Nanyami has established a sprawling mosaic of pomegranate and bougainvillea trees in the middle of the courtyard in the Haveli. Nanabu used to wear a Nehru cap and elegant sherwani, while Nanyami wore shalwar kameez. Both had great sartorial taste. When I used to visit Tonk during my school summer holidays, I would make it a point to go to Nana Boo's room and listen to great historical stories narrated by him. Nana Boo always listened to BBC on his old radio and would often be busy in finding the perfect transmission. Nanyami was an expert in making homemade mango pickles, which all of us would taste till it lasted. I truly love them both. I am very happy that my mother has written the English version also of Manzoor Alam Life and Services. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless Nanabu and Nanimi at the highest abode of the heavens. Ameen.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Maruf Mahmood. I'm the daughter-in-law of Dr. Nazra Mahmood. After I was wed as a new bride into the Mahmood family, I would often hear wonderful stories of late Nana-Ubu and Nani Ammi. Though I never had the honor of meeting late Nana Ubu, but his legacy of being an outstanding lawyer and caring person is fondly remembered by my mother-in-law. During Nani Ammi's last years, I and my daughter had the privilege of meeting Nani Ammi, and she even visited Kashmir, my homeland. My daughter would love spending time with her and would call her Ammi lovingly. The old pictures that I had the opportunity to see of late Nanabu and Nani Ammi says to me that this was a legendary family which had left gratitude in the hearts of many who knew them. I wish I could visit Tong someday with my children. May Allah bless late Nanabu and Nani Ammi at the highest pedestal of Jannatul Firdaus. Ameen.
May I now request Ms. Sadaf Tabish. Ms. Sadaf Tabish to kindly say a few words. Ms. Sadaf Tabish.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I would like to start by saying how Nanabu was such a winner in my eyes, how he always stood for something, he always had a class and was so humble. And to actually feel like you've done something good with your life and you're useful to others is what he always wanted and what he always taught us. And I remember this one incident where he asked me to serve some water to this passerby that came by our haveli, and he said that beta किसी को भी पानी पिलाना सबसे बड़ा सवाब होता है. And till this date, his words come back to my mind every time I serve water to anyone. I know it's a very small thing, but it matters a lot to me. And he was the one who taught me how a good defense is always a good defense by always appreciating the spokesperson that I was. And he always encouraged me to be that. Nanabu and Nanyammi made our childhood unforgettable. I love them so much, and I'm so grateful to how they always put their family first. And I just love how they put up this backbone for this whole family and for giving birth to my best friend Mama. I love how Nani Ammi taught her so much love and strength and delicious food. And I know it's very hard to put all these feelings in words, but thank you so much, Manjli Khala, for putting this book together so we can just appreciate them more and always, wish for Nanabu and Nani Ammi that they're flying high in Jannah. And I would also like to thank Tariq Mamu for his words in Urdu and for his book. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sada. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. May I now request Fauzan Anis, Mr. Fauzan Anis, to kindly say a few words. Mr. Fauzan Anis.
Whenever I think of Nana Boo, I think of Manzoor. Manzoor is coming in cartoons that he used to bring for all of us. Exactly. I only have a few memories to go by, memories that are clouded with entering his room for eating naps, and how he would become taji when I woke up, and how I'd sneak in and grab some more. All this made me love him even more. But he was so much more than someone who constantly brings food just to see his smiles on his face. I wasn't lucky enough to know him as the scholar and the great man he was. For me, he was my Nana who would constantly agreeing to my wishes. But as I grew up, I felt sadder that I didn't get to talk to him when I could understand the depth and complexity of the world we live in. There were so many questions I wanted to ask him, stuff that I think only he could answer. But before I could do that, he was gone, and he left his legacy with us to carry on. My mom always talked about how he was a great scholar and how he had so many people in the city. I sneak into his office sometimes, and I wish I had the intellectual capacity when I was a child to read in all the stuff that was in those books. But I'm sure this book will answer some of the questions that I have about his life, and I'll be one of the first ones to be having this copy. I'm just one of the many people who are looking forward to this book, and I'll make sure to have some amras when I read it.
Very good. Very good, Fauzan. Shabash.
Thank you.
Shabash.
So nice of you, Fauzan. So, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, it is an open house now. I think that Mr. Javed Ali Khan would like to begin. Mr. Javed Ali Khan, would you like to begin open house? Javed Ali Khan साहब फरमाएं.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
वालेकुम सलाम.
जी, मैं बहुत अपने आप को खुशनसीब समझता हूँ. मुझे एक अल्लाह ताला ने मौका दिया कि 1983 से लेके और 2008 तक जो 25 साल का अरसा है, वो मैंने भाई मियाँ जो हमारे ये भाई मियाँ के ही नाम से मैं मंजूर आलम साहब को रेफर करूंगा, क्योंकि इस नाम में ही मुझे सबसे ज्यादा अफेक्शन और उनकी मोहब्बत और उनका प्यार महसूस होता है. तो मुझे ये 25 साल का अरसा मिला जिसमें मैंने उनकी सरपरस्ती में वक्त गुजारा और बहुत कुछ उनसे सीखा और बहुत कुछ हासिल किया. 2077 में अपने वालिद साहब को खोया था. फिर जब 1977 में अपने वालिद साहब को खोया था, फिर 1983 में जब मेरी शादी हुई तो मुझे एक अजीज शरीक हयात के साथ साथ एक वालिद भी मुझे अल्लाह ताला ने अता फरमाया है. दूसरा अपना मुझे भाई मियाँ में अपने वालिद महसूस हुए और मुझे वही मोहब्बत, वही शफकत और वही सरपरस्ती भाई मियाँ से मिली जो मैं अपने वालिद साहब से पाता था. بلکہ میں کہوں گا اس سے زیادہ, کیونکہ کبھی کبھی والد صاحب مجھے ڈانٹ بھی دیا کرتے تھے, غصہ بھی کر دیا کرتے تھے, لیکن بھائی میاں کی شفقت اور محبت بغیر غصے اور بغیر ڈانٹ کے تھی. یہاں پہ میں بھائی میاں کو سمجھا, بھائی میاں ایک شخصیت نہیں بلکہ ایک انسٹیٹیوشن, ایک مجموعہ ہے جس میں ساری خوبیاں صلاحیتیں جو ایک انسان میں ہونی چاہیے اور جو ایک پازیٹیو تھاٹس ہونے چاہیے, ان سب کو مل کے جو ایک مجموعہ بنتا ہے, جو ایک انسٹیٹیوشن ہے, وہ بھائی میاں تھے. بھائی میاں بہت بڑی خوبی یہ تھی کہ آپ ایک بیلنسڈ پرسن تھے جو دینی اور دنیاوی دونوں چیزوں کی اہمیت اور دونوں کے ارکان کو پوری ذمہ داری کے ساتھ نبھاتے تھے. یہ چیز بہت کم لوگوں میں نظر آتی ہے. بھائی میاں کی جو بہت بڑی خوبی تھی وہ ایک نہایت ہمدرد اور ایک بہت اچھے لیڈر اور رہنما تھے. جیسے مثال کے طور پہ بھائی میاں کے جتنے کارکن جب اس ایج پہ پہنچ جاتے تھے جہاں وہ اپنے فرائض پورے نہیں کر پاتے تھے, تو بھائی میاں ان کو خوشی کے ساتھ ریٹائر کر کے اسے کہتے تھے کہ اب آپ گھر پہ آرام کیجئے. اور بہت بڑی بات یہ تھی کہ ان کا جو وظیفہ تھا وہ پورا وظیفہ ان کو ملتا رہتا تھا. وظیفہ ہی نہیں بلکہ جو کچھ ان کی طبیعت خراب ہوتی تھی, ان کا علاج, ان کا سارے جو ضروریات تھی, ان سب کی پوری ذمہ داری بھائی میاں آخر وقت تک نبھاتے رہتے تھے. یہ ان کی ایک ہمدردانہ صفت جو بہت کم لوگوں میں ہوتی ہے. اس کے علاوہ مجھے جب بھائی میاں اس دنیا سے گزرے, میں سعودی عرب میں تھا اور مجھے ملال رہا کہ میں شریک نہیں ہو پایا, تو میرے دل سے ایک اپنے آپ ایک آواز نکلی جو میں آپ کے ساتھ شریک کرنا چاہتا ہوں بند کی شکل میں. آپ کے ساتھ ضرور شیئر کروں گا. ایک شخص جو منظور تھا سارے عالم کے لیے, ایک شخص جو منظور تھا سارے عالم کے لیے, صداقت, سعادت, رفاقت اس کا پیغام تھا سارے عالم کے لیے. اس کی کچھ باتیں کریں, آؤ مل کر اس کی کچھ باتیں کریں, کتنا وہ محبوب تھا سارے عالم کے لیے. خانہ ڈھونڈتے ہیں اس کو در و دیوار میں, اہل خانہ ڈھونڈتے ہیں اس کو در و دیوار میں, وہ تو خوشبو بن کے مہک گیا سارے عالم کے لیے. ٹوک بھی ویران ہے پوچھتا ہے یہ سوال, ٹوک بھی ویران ہے پوچھتا ہے یہ سوال, کہاں گیا وہ شخص میری پہچان تھا سارے عالم کے لیے, کہاں گیا وہ شخص میری پہچان تھا سارے عالم کے لیے. کہتا ہے کہ وہ ہائے وہ اب نہ رہا, کون کہتا ہے کہ ہائے وہ اب نہ رہا, وہ تو زندہ جاوید ہے سارے عالم کے لیے. انہی الفاظ کے ساتھ میں اپنی بات پوری کرتا ہوں اور اللہ تعالیٰ سے دعا کرتا ہوں کہ اللہ تعالیٰ ہمارے پیارے بھائی میاں کو کی مغفرت فرمائے اور جنت الفردوس میں اعلیٰ مقام عطا فرمائے. آمین ثم آمین.
Thank you. Now, I don't think I will call upon anybody by name, and it is open house, so kindly volunteer yourself. Anyone? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. I'm my father, Javed Ali Khan, was the one who preceded me, and my name is Ahmed Khan. For the ones in this call who do not know me, and for the ones you know me, I feel that my cousins, who spoke today about my dear grandfather, have completely summed up everything and every memory that we've experienced in that beautiful home in the presence of such beautiful people. But for me, what my fondest memory of Nana Abu is that in that Borough Hall that Seher was talking about, where we used to play as kids, there was this particular television, Onida, that was there for the longest time, where we used to watch movies, TVs, cricket matches, and that was our entertainment hub, basically. And Nana Boo, as a person of complete discipline and someone who always wanted to do things uh, at a particular time, and he was extremely strict about it. We used to sometimes, listen to music, listen to watch movies late at night, and he used to always come and he used to just stand there without saying anything, and that was it for us. For us, that was it. It was time to shut down the TV, go to our rooms, and just do nothing. and and that was like calling a night for that particular night. So I mean, these were just small memories that I remember. I also remember that, there was this so Panchpatti was a very popular area near a place, and there was this small shop over there we used to get these juices and colas and stuff like that. And whenever Nanabu used to, sometimes, there were instances where I used to be in the same car, and Nanabu used to be on his way back home. We used to be on his way back home, and he used to always stop at at that shop, and buy jump-ins, buy stuff that we could just take home, and he could just give it to me and say that, okay, go have fun. And yeah, and one more thing that I remember, while we used to have food, he used to always emphasize on having eggs, emphasize on having good cooked food. And our dear Nani Ammi was an expert with food. I mean, my khalas, my mamus, my dad, and other dads would vouch for that all the skill set that Nani Ammi has given in terms of cooking, in terms of preparations for food, has completely been awesome and been amazing. And he was very fond of food. He was extremely fond of having food at the right time. That was 7 o'clock, and that is it. Then get up, do some walk, and always be in his own thoughts, and always keep on thinking about what to do, what to do next at his work, and how to solve issues and everything. And he was such a public figure in Rajasthan, in Tonk, that everyone like used to come to him for advices, for suggestions, to raise out their problems, and to to find solutions. And he was always this busy person, but still, for his grandchildren, for his daughters, for his sons, for my mamas, for my khalas, for my cousins, he was always available as a person. So I know him as my grandfather. A lot of people obviously know him as Mr. Manzoor Alam Saab, but he will always be my loving grandfather, and I truly miss him. And Naja Khala, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. Thank you so much for allowing the legacy to continue to live in this beautiful book that you've written. We will truly keep on following his legacy, and that is our goal, that is our aim. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.
Very good. Walaikum assalam. Next volunteer, please. Next volunteer.
This is Aslam from New York. Saad's father-in-law. Assalamu alaikum to everybody.
His father-in-law, Saad.
Yeah, it was my honor. I feel like really honored to part of the meeting, and it was a very good introduction for Mr. Manzoor Alam. I heard, and he was a very great man, a dedicated family man, a very, very good religious person who thinks about poor people, and Allah bless him. And with this, I can finish.
Thank you.
I hope when I get a chance, I will, inshallah, try to read the book. His daughter must have done a good job to introduce him. Thank you. Thank you.
Next volunteer, please.
I would like to thank my dear elder sister Nazra Baji for translating her book Manzoor Alam Life and Services from Urdu to English. She worked so hard to present a complete life sketch of Manzoor Alam Sahab for his grandchildren. Not only grandchildren, inshallah, his great grandchildren will also read this book and know more about their great grandfather. Also, I would like to share a quote Bhai Mia always used to say, which goes, "I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees," which I think is very powerful and encouraging to remember.
Thank you, Ina. Thank you so much. Bhai Mia used to say this quote quite often.
Yeah.
God heard his prayers. He went from this world like this only. Thank you.
How about Amar Bhai? Amar Bhai?
मैं सूफिया बाजी भी मुझे दिख रही हैं। अस्सलाम वालेकुम सूफिया बाजी, थैंक यू सो मच कि आप तशरीफ लाई हैं इस प्रोग्राम में।
Thank you.
I will call upon Ms. Hiba Tariq.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you everyone for joining us, and all of the messages were very lovely. First and foremost, I would like to thank Nazra Huppo and Zafar Huppa for organizing Dadabu's book release ceremony virtually during these difficult times. Nazra Huppo, we are grateful to you for this book, as it will keep us closer to our Dadabu. It will also inform the coming generations how great and charitable person Dadabu was. This book will inspire us to imbibe in us the qualities and values Dadabu held. So let's go down the memory lane with Manzoor Alam Life and Times by Dr. Nazra Mahmood. My heartfelt thanks to all those who contributed towards this book, and thanks to all of you for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hiba.
So nice of you, Hiba. Okay, so now if there is nobody else to speak, then I will play the dua, that dua which has been rendered. There are two dua sessions, one rendered by Maulvi Saeed Sahab of Tonk, but I think mostly you will be able to see his only face only because it's very, very low pitch of the voice, but then that is also Mubarak to see his face. And after that, a very small dua by one Maulana Ikramullah Qasmi Sahab. So,
Before that, I will request all my younger nephew and nieces that please read this book and please preserve this book for your younger generations. They must know the work and the challenges and the achievements of your grandfather, so that they should also follow the footprints of his. So please do read it and do follow his works and achievements. Thank you so much.
And I can also say that please share it with whoever, your friends and do
Yes.
share it as well, please.
good. Yeah, we are going to share on Alams the link of the book, and to all the people, ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls who are present today separately. And now we switch over to dua.
और उनके पसमाने आलम को सब्र जमील और मरहूम को अजर जज़ील अता फरमाए। खल्क़ मुहम्मदी वालिहि व सहबी अजमईन। अल्लाह ताला जनाब मंजूर आलम साहब एडवोकेट टोंक राजस्थान और उनके अहलिया बदरुन्निसा, इन दोनों ने मिल कर के ख़ास तौर से मंजूर साहब ने बड़ी दीनी खिदमात अदा की हैं, कौम के लिए बड़ी कुर्बानियाँ दी हैं। ए अल्लाह तू उनकी मग़फ़िरत फ़रमा, उन दोनों को जन्नतुल फ़िरदौस में आला मकाम नसीब फ़रमा। और उनकी बेटी डॉक्टर नाज़रा महमूद, जिन्होंने उनकी सवानेह पहले उर्दू में लिखी थी और अब इंग्लिश में तर्जमा भी कर चुकी हैं, वो अल्लाह ताला उनको भी जज़ाए खैर दे, अपने वालिदैन के लिए सदक़ा जारिया बनाए और सेहत के साथ डॉक्टर नाज़रा महमूद को उम्र में बरकत दे। रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंत समीउल अलीम व तुब अलैना इन्नका अंत तव्वाबुर रहीम बिरहमतिका या अरहमर राहिमीन।
Thank you very much, everybody, all the family members and all the people of Tonk and Father Samuel and Mr. Aqil Yusuf and everybody who participated or contributed to this program.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your presence was a great encouragement and inspiration for me. Thank you so much, friends and my family members. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hafiz.
Thank you, Nazar Popo. Thank you so much.
the
Thank
book.
you,
Thank you, Nazar
Zafar.
Khalid.
Take care.
Looking forward to reading the
Stay
book.
safe.
Inshallah.
Yeah. Looking
Thank you,
forward
Zafar
to
Khalid.
it. Allah Hafiz.
Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Thank
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.
Sohail Bhai Babi, Aslam Sahab, Masood Mia,
And
Tariq Mia.
and Rahila. So nice of you to be here. So nice of you.
Thank you for doing this, Nazra Khalas. Thank you.
Yeah. Please do read the book.
I will.
Allah Hafiz.